Can you hear my screen?
Yes, sir, you can.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then it is fine. So Stuti, you can start your recording so that I can go on talking.
Yes, sir. Started.
Okay, thank you very much. So today what we will do is that we'll mainly focus on our study on Gaussian mixture model. Before that, I would like to tell you a little bit about the parameter estimation from a probability distribution. And once we complete that parameter estimation of probability distribution, then we'll go to Gaussian mixture model and see how the parameters of the Gaussian mixture model can be computed or can be estimated. So if you look at this particular slide, what we say is that any random variable x is having a PDF or PM given by fxx, and I add this capital theta. What is this capital theta? Capital theta is nothing but the parameter set. Parameter set. Yes, this is my slide number 1. Sorry, I was into the slide number 2. So x is a random variable. We have a PDF or PMF which is fxx. So we write fxx equal to ncx p to the power x 1 minus p to the power n minus x. X is taking value 0, 1, 2, 2, etc. Another example is that Gaussian distribution. So x follows Gaussian or normal mu sigma square. Then PDF of x is fxx, which is 1 by root over twice pi sigma e to the power minus half x minus mu by sigma whole square. And x taking value from minus infinity to plus infinity. Just a minute. Let me give some time. I do not know why I am not getting the. No. I wanted to actually. Oops. No. Yes, now it is okay. I wanted to take the laser point so that I can point it out very clearly. Okay. So now you see, if you look at this first example, which is a binomial distribution, we say that x binomial n and p. So this n and p are my two parameters. So when I take the parameter set theta, we say n and p. So n is greater than 0 and integer, and p is a value in between 0 to 1. Similarly, when we take x follows Gaussian mu sigma square, then my capital theta, which is parameter set of this distribution, is mu sigma square, where mu is taking any value between 0 to minus infinity to infinity, and sigma square taking any value greater than 0, less than infinity. Okay? So what we can do is that we can actually express the PDF or PMF by fxx theta. So this theta is my parameter of that random variable. Right. So another example that we take is random variable can be a vector. Right. We all know that multivariate Gaussian. So x is having x1, x2, xn transpose. So that means PDF or PMF of this random variable x vector is f x vector small x vector theta. Again, theta over here is the parameter set of this distribution. So again, example is that we have x, which is x1, x2, follows a bivariate Gaussian with mean vector mu, variance covariance matrix sigma. So we have mu equal to mu1, mu2, and sigma equal to sigma 1 square, sigma 1, 2, sigma 2 square, which is a symmetric matrix. So we can find out the PDF as fx x theta is 1 by 2 power to the power n by 2, n equal to 2, so 1 by 2 pi, determinant of sigma e to the power minus half, x minus mu transpose, sigma inverse x minus mu, right? Again, x1 is from minus infinity to infinity any value, and x2 is any value from minus infinity to infinity. So what are the parameters set here? Parameter set of this distribution is this one. So how many parameters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 parameters over there. So if you want to say the parameter set, then essentially we have to estimate mu1, we have to estimate mu2, we have to estimate sigma 1 square, we have to estimate sigma 2 square, and also sigma 1. Sigma 2 1 over here is same as sigma 1 2, so we need not to do this one. So there are 5 parameters over here, right? So we are not going into the detail of this one, just a mention this one, that we already have this in our earlier classes, that if we have 2 or more than 2 Gaussian distribution, single variate Gaussian distribution, then what we can do is that we can take the linear combination of this one, L dash x. L dash x will follow a normal distribution which L prime mu, L prime sigma L. What is L prime or L dash is L1 and L2. So basically what is the meaning of L dash x? This is L1 x1 plus L2 x2. This one is L1 x1 plus L2 x2. So this is known as the linear combination of the components of Gaussian. Linear combination of the components of Gaussian. So that will be a single variate Gaussian. But we would like to do or study here is the finite mixture model. What is the finite mixture model? Now, looking at some results of a random experiment, one can model it by a random variable such that the result can be characterized by a random variable. So let us take this example. The example is that if we do a random experiment and we get the data of that random experiment which follows more or less this. So what we can say is that we can model that particular experiment hopefully by a Gaussian distribution. Now, if another random experiment which has result or data like this. So what do we say about the model of this one? So in particular, actually we say the model of this particular data is a 3-component Gaussian or weighted sum of finite number of known random variable. So known random variable. So what is this? The known random variable. So one is this, which is a Gaussian distribution with certain mu and c. Another one is this, which is another Gaussian with certain mu and sigma square. And last one also is a Gaussian with another mean and variances. So what we say is that the entire distribution can be considered as weighted sum of finite number. Finite number is why? Because here we have 1, 2, 3. So 3 means finite number. And this is weighted sum of known random variable. What is known here over here is the Gaussian, variable. So when we take weighted sum of finite number of Gaussian random variable, we call it a Gaussian mixture model. So how many components or mixture distribution are there? 3. 1, 2, and 3. So we call it 3-component Gaussian mixture model. And why we call Gaussian? Because individually each of these is considered to be Gaussian with certain mean and variance. Certain mean and variance, right? And what is weighted sum? Weighted sum is this one. W1 multiplied by the first Gaussian. W2 multiplied by the second Gaussian. W3 multiplied by the third Gaussian. So if we assume that there are k number of components, here in this particular example, k is equal to 3, right? If we consider there are k number of components, then we take some Wi multiplied by the PDF of the ith component. So this is first component, this is second component, this is third component. So PDF of the ith component of the mixture, and this is called the weight. And sum of this, so weighted sum of known probability distribution is called the mixture density. If this Fixx, that means the ith component for I equal to 1, 2 to k, all are Gaussian, then we call this as Gaussian mixture model. This is called as Gaussian mixture model. And there is one more criteria that we need to follow, is that summation of Wi must be equal to 1. Summation of Wi must be equal to 1. So each Wi is in between 0 to 1. 0 to 1. And k is considered the number of components, finite, in the mixture model. So this particular example, what we will say is that here we are considering a k component finite mixture model, and if each component of the finite mixture model is a Gaussian component, or then we call the entire thing as a Gaussian mixture model. Do you understand? If you have any question, I stop over here for a few seconds. Let me know whether if you have any question or not at this point, that what is the meaning of Gaussian mixture model, or in general finite mixture model. So this is what? This is the PDF of the finite mixture model. This is the PDF of the finite mixture model. And what are these? This is the PDF of the ith component of the mixture model. So be very careful. Again, this is the PDF of the finite mixture model, and this is the PDF of the ith component of the mixture model, and this is the weight corresponding to ith component of the mixture model, and I varies from 1 to k. So this is called k component finite mixture model. Okay, got it?
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, is this component in any way related to the features? Hello?
We are right now, we are not considering anything about feature. What we are saying is that, can we model a data? Can we model a data?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if we go back to this example, that means if we have a data like this, we can say that we can model this experiment or model this data by a Gaussian distribution. But
Sure.
if we have a data like this, then we say that we can model this as a finite Gaussian mixture model with number of components 3.
Sure, sir.
Got it? So
Yes, sir.
let me give you one example. Possibly that example will clarify your doubt.
Sir, yes, sir.
Example is something like this. I possibly used this example earlier also. Suppose somebody is giving a lecture, right? Or somebody giving a lecture. So that person is actually facing the audience, and at his back there is one screen where the lecture material is projected, and the person is actually moving from left to right, explain what has been written on the slide which is projected, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the camera is facing that way. So what camera is looking at? Camera is looking at the person who is speaking and moving left and right sometimes, or maybe sometimes standing in a particular place. And there is a project, there is a wide screen, and something is actually projected on the screen, and behind the screen there is a wall, right?
Yes.
Now, for the camera, the wall is a fixed, it is not moving, right? The
Sure.
person who is speaking, he is moving, he or she is moving, right? And the screen is also not moving, but sometimes due to wind or something, there may be a very slight movement in the screen. Got it? So this is the scenario. That means there is a fixed background which is not moving. There is also fixed background which may move occasionally but very slowly, and there is a foreground, the speaker, who is moving here and there. Right?
Yes, sir.
So similar example is that if you look at the program at OAT in our campus, so what is there? There is a background, white wall, which is a solid wall. It's not moving anywhere, right?
Yes,
If somebody put a screen on the white wall, maybe due to wind, that is also not moving, but occasionally, very slightly move here and there. And there are characters who are playing on the dash, they are moving on the dash here and there, right?
Yes,
So the task now is to, can we separate out the foreground which is moving from the background which are not moving,
yes, sir.
right? So
Yes,
this
sir.
is the task. So for that task, one can say that we may use or we may get a result like this. What is this result? There is a large portion. Look at my pointer. There is
Yes.
a large portion which is fixed, not moving. There is a very small portion which occasionally is moving, right? Due to
Yes, sir.
wind or something else. And there is another component which is moving very frequently, and that is called the moving object or the foreground which is moving.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Got
Thank
it?
you. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
that means now if you take the camera,
Sir.
video camera, and shoot this one, so what will happen? In a video camera, you have mostly 26 frames per second,
Yes, sir.
right? So for each second, you are getting 26 frames. Suppose you are taking a video of 10 seconds. So expected that there are 260 number of frames.
Yes, sir.
Now consider one pixel position.
Yes,
That pixel position is varying from first frame to 268th frame, right? So
Yes.
there is a data for each pixel position.
yes, sir.
How many data point? 260 data points, right? So depending on the position of that particular pixel, the 260 data points may have a fixed distribution, which is like this, that single Gaussian, which is not moving anywhere, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or maybe the screen which is moving occasionally, but as the moving person is moving from left to right of the frame. That means a particular pixel position, maybe sometimes moving object, maybe sometimes the screen, maybe sometimes screen plus the wall, etc. So the overall data of 260 data points of a particular pixel position in the 260 frames will get a data which is like this.
Yes.
So we can say that we can model that particular data using a 3-component Gaussian, where we say that first 2 components are my background and my last component is my foreground. So if we can make the model and can draw a line over here, look at my pointer, line over here. What we say that on this side of the line, it is background, and on this side of the line, it is foreground. So when a new frame comes in, the particular pixel position, we can estimate whether that is a background or a foreground if we have a model like this.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Sir.
Got it? Now
Yes,
that
sir.
is the complete example, one of the very complete example where the Gaussian mixture model is actually implemented. And if I do not remember, if time permits, I may show you some of the result of that one. Then another very interesting example, though I have not worked with that example, is that the language modeling, speech. Somebody is speaking, usually in India, a multilingual country, right? So most of or many of the citizens of India, they know at least 2 languages. Maybe one is his or her vernacular language, mother tongue, or maybe another one is Hindi, or maybe English or something else. Or maybe the urban person like us, we mostly see that we can talk about in 3 languages: our vernacular language, the Hindi, and the English. For example, say a person from Gujarat, say Ahmedabad, he can speak or she can speak Gujarati, Hindi, English, all 3 languages. And sometimes when we talk or when we speak, we use all 3 languages or maybe 2 languages. So there may be a requirement of actually finding out that which utterance or which word, right, is in which language, Hindi, English, Gujarati. Then we can actually find out what the person is talking about, what the person is speaking about. So one of the way to actually model the speech is mixture modeling. It was very popular in last decade, in 2000 to 2010. It was very popular to use the Gaussian mixture model for language identification, for speaker identification, etc. But right now, with the invention or with the inclusion of deep neural network, convolution neural network, Gaussian mixture model takes a little bit backstage for the language modeling or language processing or speech processing. But still, it is very important. Sometimes we analyze the data in terms of Gaussian mixture model, and then, as you said rightly, we can take that as a feature input to the CNN or DNA. That is also possible, right? So mixture model has a variety of application, but so far in the literature, I can tell you the most robust and most useful and most efficient use or application is object background segmentation. Object background segmentation, which I described you. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, let us look at this. So, if this is my finite Gaussian mixture model with number of mixture or number of mixture component K, right? Then, how many parameters are there here? Suppose you assume that this is a single variate Gaussian, like this example. So, how many parameters are there in this PDF? Can anyone tell me how many parameters are there in this mixture PDF, which is a Gaussian, mixture of Gaussian?
Three.
9 parameters.
Huh?
9.
6.
9 parameters.
9 parameters, yes. 9 parameters. Why? Because each of these Gaussian is mu and sigma. So mu 1 sigma 1 square, mu 2 sigma 2 square, mu 3 sigma 3 square, and then W1, W2, and W3. So we have 9 parameters of this mixture model. So if we have, instead of 3 k number of component, then we have 3k number of parameters to be estimated, which is a huge task. That is why people mostly try to avoid this one, because it is hugely computationally expensive. But I am telling you is that till date, that object background segmentation has the best result with this kind of a mixture model. So this is what we say, that in place of individual component PDF, we say that xi I is the parameter of this ith component PDF. So we have W1, W2 to Wk, xi1, xi2 to xik. Xi I are the parameters of the PDF for the ith component, right? So one thing is very important in that finite mixture model. We assuming that this distribution is known to us and all the components are having same distribution, right? We are not saying that, okay, first component is Gaussian, second component is exponential, third component is gamma distribution. No. If we say that this is a mixture model, then all distributions are same, either Gaussian or exponential or gamma or t or f, whatever. And if it is multivariate, all are multivariate Gaussian or all are multivariate Wishart distribution, etc. So all are same distribution. All components are same distribution. So this assumption is very important. Components are having same distribution but with different parameters, because parameter is xi I. So for first component xi1, second component xi2, third component xi3, etc. And if it is Gaussian, then mu1 sigma 1, mu2 sigma 2, mu3 sigma 3. And if these components are multivariate Gaussian, then xi I would be 2 components. So now what multivariate that we decide? Maybe bivariate distribution, trivariate distribution, or something like that. So in that case, a mean vector and a variance covariance matrix. So mu1 vector and sigma 1 matrix, mu2 vector and sigma 2 matrix, mu3 vector and sigma 3 matrix. Then the number of parameters is also increasing, because in the mean vector you have that many components depending on what is the variate of the distribution, bivariate, trivariate, multivariate, or what, right? So if it is an n variate distribution, then mu1, mu2, mu_n for the mean vector. So there are k number of mean vector. So n into k and sigma 1 matrix. Sigma 1 matrix is a n cross n matrix. So n square, and there are k such kn square, and there are k number of wi's. So w1 to w2 wk, then n into k number of mu values and n square into k number of sigma square values. So it's a large number of parameters to be estimated, right? But still, the way I am speaking, it seems that it is very tough, but it is not that tough. As far as Gaussian, any known distribution, Gaussian distribution or T distribution, these or Wishart distribution, all are known. This is not that much hard. We will see why it is not that much hard. It is time consuming. We cannot say that the estimation is very accurate, but still it is not that tough. Okay. So this is my Gaussian mixture model. I already told you that if this PDF is the PDF of the Gaussian mixture model, f of x equal f of x, and the parameters are w1, w2, wk, mu1, mu2 to μk, sigma 1 square, sigma 2 square to sigma k square. So, and the PDF is given by summation I equal to 1 to k wi 1 by root over twice pi sigma I e to the power minus half x minus mu I by sigma I whole square. Number of parameters is 3 into k. X can be replaced by x vector, and for that Gaussian PDF of the components need to be rewritten correctly. What is the problem? Estimate the parameters 3k numbers from the result of the experiment. Right? So that means, again, I go back to this. So that means this black curve. This black curve is what? This is my data. Given this data, can I estimate the parameter of this Gaussian, parameter of this Gaussian, parameters of this Gaussian, and W1, W2, W3, the weights corresponding to each of the Gaussian? Can I do that? That is the main task. So problem is to estimate the parameters 3k in numbers from the result of the experiment, which we call data. Got it? Any question at this point? Any question at this point? No question? No question? So can I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, usually I try to give notion of this estimation process. So one very useful estimation process used by statistician is called maximum likelihood estimator or maximum likelihood estimation, which is known as MLE. Another one which is mostly used for this Gaussian mixture model is called expectation maximization, EM. Expectation maximization. Another one is Bayesian learning. Let me see if I have time. I will talk about this Bayesian learning also. But this is little bit tough side, the Bayesian learning. But mostly let me first go through this maximum likelihood and expectation maximization. So to understand what is maximum likelihood and what is expectation maximization, we take two examples given by A.W. Moore. A.W. Moore. So first let us think about the examples and then we will go into the Gaussian. So the example says that in a class, the instructor give grades to the students. So this says that W1 gets grade A, W2 gets grade B, W3 gets grade C, and W4 gets D, right? And from the data, we know that probability of getting grade A is half, probability of getting grade B is mu, probability of getting grade C is twice mu, and probability of getting D is half minus 3 mu. So this is my probabilities for getting grade A, B, C, D. So if you sum it up, you will get 1. Just see to it that you get sum 1. Right? Now, in actual scenario, we get a data. The data is like this. A number of students gets grade A, B number of students grade B, C number of students get grade C, and D number of students get grade D. This is my data. And what is my model? Probabilities are given. So with this given probability, we can say the PDF is like this. A, B, C, D. Given mu is this one. Some constant, because it has to be a probability distribution. So some constant, half to the power A. What is half? Probability of getting A. Mu to the power B. What is mu? Probability of getting grade B. Twice mu to the power C. What is twice mu? Probability of getting grade C. And probability of getting grade D is half minus 3 mu to the power D. Right? So what we do is that we call this as my likelihood, which is my model or probability, or the total probabilities of the data, or total probabilities of the data given the parameter, right? So this is called my likelihood. And when I take log of this likelihood, it is known as log likelihood, right? So what is my first task? First task is to find what is the model, what is the data, and then fit this data into the model. That we call the likelihood. And then either we consider the likelihood, or many a times we consider the log of the likelihood. Why we want to take log? Because you see, data is at the power. So if we take log, then data will come down. So log of k plus A log half plus B log mu plus C log twice mu plus D log half minus 3 mu. And what we need to do? We need to find out mu, the parameter. So what do? We take maximum of this likelihood, that is called ML, maximum likelihood, or if we use log, the maximum of log likelihood. So if we want to maximize this likelihood or log likelihood, we have to take derivative with respect to the unknown parameter. Here we have one parameter, that is why I take d mu of log p and equate this with 0. So if we do this one, then what will happen? Log of k, this is a constant. So derivative is 0. So what is this? A log half, no mu. So this is also constant. So derivative is 0. Now what is this? Here mu is involved. So log mu means 1 by mu, and b is a constant. So b into 1 by mu is b by mu. What is this? This is c, 1 by twice mu. Twice mu is 2. So basically 2c by twice mu. And this is d 1 by half minus 3 mu, and this is minus 3. So minus 3d by half minus 3 mu. Do you understand this derivative? Do you understand the derivative?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Good. So we equate this with 0, and what we get is that A, B, C, D all are data. That means known. So we try to find out the value of the unknown parameter mu in terms of the known values. So here what we are getting, mu equal to B plus C divided by 6 into B plus C plus D. So this is my data, right? So this is an estimate of mu. So if we have in particular A equal to 14, B equal to 6, C equal to 9, D equal to 10, we'll get mu equal to 1 by 10. Got it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So again I repeat, what is the process of maximum likelihood? Maximum likelihood is that we know the model, right? So model here is a multinomial distribution. Model here is a multinomial distribution. Why multinomial? In binomial, we have two outcomes, success and failure. In multinomial, we have more than two, because grade A, grade B, grade C, grade D, 4 outcomes. That is why it is a multinomial distribution. Some constant times, probability of first choice divided by the data of the first choice, probability of the second choice to the power data of the second choice, etc. Right? So this is my multinomial PDF. So I need to know what is my likelihood. So what is my likelihood? Likelihood is that I plug in data into the model. That is my likelihood. So either I take likelihood, or if required many a times, I take the log of the likelihood. Then I want to maximize either the likelihood or the log of the likelihood respect to the unknown parameter. Here we have only one unknown parameter. That's why we take P d mu log P and equate it with 0 to get the estimate of mu in terms of the data. Right? So now whenever you have the actual data, you plug in these actual data into this, we get the mu hat or estimate of mu, which is 1 by 10. Now let us assume the same example with a twist. The same example with a twist. What is the twist? We do not know individually how many gets A and how many gets B. But what we know is that the grade A plus B, there are H number of students who gets A plus or A or B. Right? Do you understand the meaning of this? Individually, we do not know how many gets A, how many gets B. We know that how many gets A or B. And C is C, D is D. How do we then estimate mu? The same problem. How do we then estimate mu? So one way to estimate mu is this. Here we assume that A gets grade A, B gets grade B. But this A and B are unknown. This A and B are unknown. But obviously, this A and B will be same in the ratio of PA and PB. So what we do is that, so we expect values of A and B are for given mu. If we assume that we know mu, then what we do is that we take A by B equal to PA by PB. If someone can you write down, if you have those who have pen and pencil, I am telling you, write it down. Small a by small b equal to probability A by probability B. So A by B equal to, what is probability A? Half. And what is probability B? What was probability B? Mu.
New.
Mu. So A by B equal to half by mu. Now you add +1 on both the side. You add +1 on both the side of this equation. What you are getting?
A plus B by B equals to half plus mu by mu.
So what is A plus B?
H.
What is H?
H.
So in place of A plus B, you put H. Then you get an estimate of A. Right? Which is this one. Half by half plus mu into H. One on both sides, you will get an estimate of B.
Yes, sir.
He
Yes, sir.
had is mu by half plus mu into H.
Yes, sir.
Right? So this is what we are doing, is that we are trying to find out expected value of A and expected value of B, which were unknown in the first step. Now if we get expected value of A and expected value of B, then what was the maximum likelihood of mu? B plus C by 6 into B plus C by D. So here you do the same thing. Mu equal to B hat plus C 6 times B hat plus C plus D. Got it? So this term, where we are trying to find out the expected value of the data which are unknown, expected value of the data which are unknown, we are trying to find out that first, assuming that the parameter is known, this given mu, assuming the parameter is known. And then in the second step, once we have expected value of A and B, we simply find out the maximum likelihood of mu and put that expected value of the data into that MLE of mu. So we get mu. Right? So first step is usually known as expectation, and second step is known as maximization of this parameter. So what is the first step? First step is find out expected value of the unknown data given the parameter given. Right? That is expectation process. And next step, what we are doing is that maximizing the parameter once we know the expected value of the unknown data. So it is two-step process. Expectation, maximization. Right? So how we proceed with this one? We proceed this one like this. So what is EM algorithm? First, define a mu t. At any point of time, say let us mu t is known. If mu t is known, then we can find out what is expected value of Bt. What is expected value of Bt? Is mu divided by half plus mu into H. Right? So mu t H half plus mu t. So that is my expectation state. And then how do I estimate mu t plus 1? Mu t plus 1 is that this Bt plus C divided by 6 into Bt plus C plus D. So this is my maximization. So from where we are getting Bt? We are getting the expected value of Bt, assuming that we know mu, and then we estimate mu from the maximum likelihood step, right? So how do we start the EM estimation? So you initially take any value for mu. You take initially any random guess for mu. So any random guess for mu, using that random guess find B, using that B update mu. Then updated mu is again used to estimate B. Again estimate of B is used for updating mu. You go on repeating this until you get a convergence. That means there is no change in mu value. Mu value is converged. Question? I stop over here a little bit. You think about it and let me know your question. No question? You understood so easily?
Sir, how to guess mu, sir?
Huh?
How to guess mu? Any random value?
No guess. No straightforward formula. Anything you guess. What is mu, by the way, in this particular example?
Maximization.
No. What is mu?
Mean values.
What is mu? Probability of B, right?
Yes, sir.
And probability of C is twice mu. So
Yes,
in this case, mu should be such that mu is in between 0 to 1, twice mu is in between 0 to 1, and half minus 3 mu is also between 0 to 1. Right?
Okay, sir.
So your initial guess of mu should be like that.
Okay.
Your initial guess of mu should be like that.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir.
So given the problem, you have to find out the initial guess of the parameter. Initial guess of the parameter. So suppose what we said is that this is the data, mu equal to 1 by 10. Suppose instead of this data, I say that A plus B is 20, C is 9, D is 10. Right?
Okay.
And suppose you say, okay, let me take mu equal to 0.2. A initial guess is 0.2. So is it satisfied? Mu is 0.2, yes. This is probability. 0.2 into 2 is what? 0.4. This is also probability. Then 0.5 minus 0.6. So this is not satisfying. This becomes negative. So my initial guess of mu cannot be 0.2. So let us assume my initial guess is 0.15. So this is satisfied. This is 0.3 satisfied. This is also satisfied. 0.5 minus 0.45. So satisfied. Now you can start with that as my initial guess over here for this particular problem. Right? Where we say the data is H is 20, C is 9, D is 10. So what will happen? You start with mu equal to 0.15. So if you take mu equal to 0.15, then what will be B? B hat. 0.15 by 0.65 multiplied by 8, which is 20. I gave you
Yes.
20. So you take b hat. That b hat you put over here. You get a new mu. If that mu is very close to 0.15, then you stop. Otherwise, you take that mu and plug in over here to get another b hat. You take that b hat again to estimate mu, and you see what is the value of new mu compared to the previous mu. And you go on iteratively doing this expectation maximization, until the mu converges. Got it?
Got it. Got it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now we come to the maximum likelihood of GMM. Usually we say that maximum likelihood of GMM could be like this. So what we do is that we have the PDF Px theta, where theta equal, this is not MLE of GMM, this is MLE of the Gaussian, because we are taking only one Gaussian, px theta, right? When in case of Gaussian, this pxi theta, this value will be my summation I equal to 1 to k wi pixi theta, right? But let us first assume a simple Gaussian, which is mu sigma square, right? So what is my PDF? We all know the PDF is 1 by root over twice by sigma e to the power minus half x minus mu by sigma whole square, right? And we give you the data x1, x2, xn, all observed are independent. Then what we do is that we take the model or likelihood as the product of all the Gaussian with xi as input, pxi theta. And Gaussian is e to the power minus half xi minus mu by sigma. So the mu and sigma values are in the power of e. So we take log base e. If we take log base e, then this value becomes I equal to 1 to n log pxi even theta, right? So what is this pxi theta? Pxi theta is those who are having pen and pencil, you write it down. I am telling you, log likelihood is summation I equal to 1 to n log of what is this? 1 by root over twice pi into sigma, then e to the power minus half x minus mu divided by sigma whole square. Now you take the log, what will happen?
So could you repeat that, what you just said?
What is this pxi given theta? This is a single variate Gaussian. So what is the PDF of this single variate Gaussian?
1 by
1
2 pi to the power.
e to the power minus half. In place of x, you write xi minus mu by sigma whole square. Write it down completely. And then take the log. What you are getting? Log of 1 by root over twice pi. That means a constant. Right? Then log of 1 by sigma I. Log of 1 by sigma. Right? So what is log of 1 by sigma? Minus log sigma.
Yes, sir.
Right? So some constant times minus log of sigma. Then E goes up. So we have minus half x minus mu, xi minus mu by sigma whole square. So it would be summation I equal to 1 to n, some constant minus log sigma minus half x minus mu, xi minus mu by sigma whole square. Right? So now this is my log likelihood. I have to take the maximization of log likelihood with respect to my two parameters. One is mu, another one is sigma or sigma square. So what I do is that del mu of log L equal to 0, del sigma square log L equal to 0. I give you 2-3 minutes time. From that log L, can you differentiate and find out the value of mu and sigma square or mu hat and sigma square? This will be the result. I'm telling you. I already told you, log of this is a constant, log of this is minus log sigma, and log of this is minus 1 by 2 sigma square xi minus mu whole square. Then you take differentiation with respect to mu, equate it with 0, differentiation with respect to sigma square, take it as 0.
Yes, sir.
Then what you are getting?
So this is ideal equation, sir. This equation we will get.
So what we will be getting, mu hat is this and sigma square hat is this. So what is this one? This one is data sample mean.
Population.
Not population. This is data.
Sample, sir. Yes, sir.
This
Sample.
Sample mean. Data sample mean. And what
This
is
is
this?
sample mean. This is sample variance.
Right. So that means whenever we have a Gaussian distribution, the maximum likelihood, and we have a data, the maximum likelihood of mean is sample mean, the maximum likelihood of variance is sample variance. Got it? We used it extensively in many cases, but right now we see that this is nothing but maximum likelihood estimator. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Be careful about this one. You try to memorize this forever. That estimate of population mean is sample mean in case of Gaussian. Estimation of population variance is sample variance. And these estimations are maximum likelihood estimation. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now come to the finite mixture model. Finite mixture model. You see, in case of finite mixture model, it is not so easy. It is not so easy to find out the maximum likelihood or maximum of log likelihood. Because of this reason, you take out this derivation. Slowly go through this derivation and let me know whether you have any problem. Here, what we assume is that W1, W2, Wk are known. Sigma 1 square, sigma 2 square, sigma k square, all are equal and known. All are equal and known. Equal is sigma square. Even then, we are getting a very, very complicated expression. Right? Very, very complicated expression. Got it? So, finding out the maximum likelihood of the finite mixture model or finite Gaussian mixture model is not so easy. So finally, if you want to take del mu of log L assuming that W1, W2, Wk all are known, sigma 1 square, sigma 2 square, etc., sigma k square all are known and equal, then you will get a mu j, which is this one. Which is this one. Now, what is this one? You see, this one is nothing but weighted mean. You look at this expression that I am circling out using my pointer, that this is nothing but a weighted mean with weight as this, probability of Wj given xi mu1 mu2 to mu k, summation of probability Wj given xi mu1 to mu k. We'll see to this how we are getting it. And similarly, when we take that all are unknown, yet at the tth iteration, this mu1, mu2, mu k, all are unknown, then we take a initial guess of mu1, mu2, mu k, and then use the expectation maximization step to find out this, that the next mu t plus 1 would be an weighted average of the sample data, not the average or mean. In case of single Gaussian, it was only the sample mean, but in case of EM, it is not mean, it is weighted. Now, how we are getting it? We stop over here. And let me open this one so that we try to understand how the derivation of EM takes place in case of Gaussian mixture model. Concentrate in this now. This is the best part of today's lecture, that how to actually find the expectation maximization for the Gaussian mixture model. Let us find out this one. What is L? Likelihood. Likelihood is this one. Product I equal to 1 to n f xi theta. What is f xi theta? This is a mixture model. So f xi theta is nothing but j equal to 1 to k wj f xi theta j. Right? So what is theta j? Theta j is mu as well as sigma. But right now, consider that this is only theta j. Right now, consider that this is only theta j. Right? So wj f xi theta j. Why we put it j? Because we already initialized or indicated xi as my data. Okay. So now you take log of L. If you take log of L, summation I equal to 1 to n, log of fxi theta is this one. Summation j equal to 1 to k wj fxi theta j. So who is the unknown? Theta j is the unknown. So we have to take derivative with respect to theta j. So del theta j of log L. Now take out this one. This summation I equal to 1 to n remains as it is. Now what is this? Log of something. So what is the derivative of log of something?
1 by some.
So 1 by that something. Got it? Log of something, derivative is 1 by that something. So I write down this one. And now go inside this. Wj is a constant. Del theta j of xi theta. Got it? Up to
Yes, sir.
this, it is okay? Fine. Now what we do is that we take the sum as it is. With wj we take over here. We multiply this by f xi theta j. So we divide it by f xi theta j. And del theta j of f xi theta j remains same. So if xi theta j, we write it forcefully. So we divide it by f xi theta j, so that this cancel, this two line becomes same. Now we have two parts of it. First part is this wj f xi theta j summation j equal to 1 to k wj f xi theta j. This is one part. Another part, if you look at this, what is this part? This part is nothing but del theta j of log f xi theta j. Is it or not? Because if you take del theta j of log f xi theta j, this will be 1 by f xi theta j del theta j of f xi theta j. That means this. So
Okay.
it has two parts. Now the first part, which we call is a weight depending on theta, is a weight depending on theta, is a weight depending on theta. And this is what? This is nothing but maximum likelihood of single Gaussian. Why? Because what is f xi theta j? F xi theta j is nothing but a single Gaussian. F xi theta j, f xi theta j, f xi theta j. Got it? It's a single variate Gaussian and then Gaussian mixture model. So this is maximum likelihood of single variate Gaussian or MLE of single Gaussian. That means the jth component. Is it okay? Do you have any question? So what is log L? Sorry, del theta j of log L is this one. We have to find out this one, equate it with 0 and get the value of theta j. Right? So what we are doing, we are saying that this is a numerator value and this is a denominator value. So what is a numerator value? Numerator value is joint probability getting j equal to j and x equal to xi. And what is denominator? Denominator is we are summing up with j. So marginal probability of getting x equal to xi, because we already summing up over z equal to j. That means the marginal. But I request you to remember this is the ratio, that wj f xi theta j summation j equal to 1 to k wj f xi theta j. So what is this? This is a ratio n by d, multiplied by what? Multiplied by the MLE of single Gaussian for the jth component. Right? So with an initial guess of theta, we can find out this ratio n by d and then find out del theta j of log L and equate it with equal to 0. So this will give me the entire derivation of EM. Now let us try to see that what is the meaning of this one. Right? So for a single GMM, what we are having, numerator is k times e to the power minus half 1 by 2 sigma square xi minus mu j square probability of wj. That means what? We assume that sigma and wj are known, only mu j is unknown. And denominator is we get the summation j equal to 1 to k, this entire thing. Right? And what is MLE? Because this star is my main M. So we have to find out this, assuming the Gaussian. So what is del mu j of this? Log k e to the power minus half x minus this. So again, as earlier, log of this will be a constant. Log of this is minus 1 by 2 sigma square xi minus mu j whole square. Right? So del mu j, this is constant. 1 by 2 sigma square is constant. This is 2 into xi minus mu j. minus mu j is -1 and this minus sign is there. So minus xi plus mu j by sigma square. So what is happening to the star? This star now becomes this one. Summation I equal to 1 to n by d into this minus xi plus mu j by sigma square whole square. Now from here, if you find out mu j, you will get this one. Mu j hat is n by d xi divided by summation n by d. So what is this? This is nothing but weighted mean of the data. And what is the weight used? N by d. What is the weight used? N by d. What is the weight used? N by d. What is n and d? N and d is this two. That I know. I do not know mu j, but I know that all sigma square are same. All sigmas are same as sigma square, and wj's are known. Right? Now, if we want to do the same thing for sigma j, assuming that mu j is constant. Assuming that mu j is constant. So the del sigma j will be this one, where sigma j is unknown and mu j is constant. So k1 minus log sigma j minus 1 by 2 sigma j square x minus mu j also. This k1 is a constant, so derivative is 0. This is minus 1 by sigma j, and this is x minus xi minus mu j whole square. This is by half. This is constant. Sigma j square is minus 2 sigma j to the power minus 3, which is minus 1 by sigma j 1 by this. So that means what we do is that again from the star del sigma j log n is summation I equal to 1 to n by d and this value. Then again I solve sigma j, which is this one. Now you see, this is what? This is again the weighted variance. The weighted variance. And weight is what? What? N by d. Weight is what? N by d. Weight is what? N by d. Now actually how to compute? Then how to compute? We have parameters mu1, mu2, mu3, mu k, sigma 1 square, sigma 2 square, sigma k square. Instead of w, here I am writing p1. That's a difference in the symbol only. But just think about it. These are nothing but w's. These are nothing but w's. These are parameters. So what will happen in EM? We will have an initial guess of all this. For this initial guess, I will find out numerator by denominator, n by d. So this is my n by d. What I say n by d is w I j. I suffix j at the power. So
So not audible, sir.
1 by root over twice by sigma j e to the power minus half. Okay now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Sometimes you give me feedback, otherwise I'm not getting. So we start with some initial values of mu's, sigmas, and w's, and then find the n by d, which we call wi of j. Then what will be my estimate? Mu j1 is this one. wij xi, wij summation over I. For all j equal to 1 to 2k. J is 1 to 2k and I is 1 to 2n. Here we should also write j. Here I write j equal to 1 to 2k. Okay. Just a minute. সুমন্ত ক্লাস হচ্ছে, হ্যাঁ ক্লাসের পর কথা বলছি। ও So we have to first find that n by d.
Again, sir, not audible.
Connection is giving me some problem.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear
Yes,
me
sir.
now? So this is the estimates of mu j, sigma j, and pj. Pj is weight. What is the weight? Weight is that summation I equal to 1 to n wji divided by capital N. Capital N is what? Number of data points. Number of data points. Right? In the next step, we'll replace mu j0, sigma j0, pj0 by mu j1, sigma j1, pj1. And then again repeat steps. I find out wj of I, which is this ratio, and then this ratio will be used to find out the weighted mean, which is again the new mean, new mu, and weighted variance, which is new variance, and this is the ratio of sum of wj's divided by n, which gives me the weight of the kth or jth component, weight of the jth component. And then again it will be replaced. So E and M side by side we go on. So this is about the single variate Gaussian. Do you understand? This is about the single variate Gaussian. Now, if it is a multivariate Gaussian, then mu1, mu2, mu k will be replaced by mu1 vector, mu2 vector, mu k vector. Sigma 1 square, sigma 2 square, sigma k square will be replaced by sigma 1 matrix, sigma 2 matrix, sigma k matrix. And this P1, P2, Pk remains the same, no problem. Right? And how many components mu1 vector, mu2 vector, mu k vector will have? That depends on how many variate the data is. If it is small n variate, then it will be small n variates. So this will be n cross 1, n cross 1, n cross 1. This will be n cross n, n cross n, n cross n. So many unknowns. So we have to initialize everything and then use the same thing, that this two ratio which we call wij, and then take each one of this mu. Now here it will be replaced by mu vector for each of these I. Right? And here it will be replaced by the mu vector. And this will be obviously a vector. This will obviously a vector. Right? So we can, and this remains the same. There is no change in it because this is a scalar quantity which is a problem. Got it? So again I repeat. So what we do is that in the derivation, we take the likelihood, log likelihood, and from that log likelihood we see that actually we remain into the star, which has two parts. One is the weight, which is numerator by denominator, a ratio, and the MLE of single Gaussian, which is jth component. Then we do that one, that we take mu unknown, all others are known. Then we take this mu hat and we come to see that this is nothing but an weighted mean. And similarly for sigma, using the star, we again put mu j's and wj's are known, and then sigma j's are unknown. Then again from the star we get sigma j hat is nothing but an weighted variance. So for the k component Gaussian, we take an initial guess of mu1, mu2 to mu k, sigma 1, sigma 2 to sigma k, P1, which is actually the weight corresponding to each component of the Gaussian mixture, and then from the initial guess we try to find out the ratio. The ratio is, we call it as Wij, and then the estimate of mu will be the weighted mean, weight being Wij, the estimate of sigma will be weighted variance, weight becomes Wij, and P will be the ratio divided by capital N. The sum of Wij, sum over I equal to 1 to n divided by n. So what we do with the initial guess, we estimate mu1, mu j's, sigma j's, and p j's. Then again use this mu j's, sigma j's, p j's to find out this ratio Wji. Then again come to the estimate of mu j, sigma j, p j. We go on doing this until we get a convergence. That is how we get the estimate of all the parameters of Gaussian mixture model. And again, I am adding this part that when we have a vector valued Gaussian, then mu will be replaced by mu vector, sigma square will be replaced by sigma matrix, and P1, P2, Pk remains as same. But the procedure remains the same. We find a ratio n by b, which is sigma ij, and then each one of these will be the weighted mean vector, weighted variance covariance matrix, and this ratio, which is weight to each of the Gaussian component. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So here the same thing that we said. Now if you do not read this one, that is also sufficient. I already told you how to actually calculate. So if you do not read the slide number 17 and slide number 18, that is fine, no problem. Or even slide number 16. So you take up to this one and then how to find out the finite mixture model. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any question? Any question you want me to go to any slide?
Not for me, sir.
Okay. So what I can do is that I can stop sharing and come back to the Google Meet so that we can discuss if you have any other thing. Stuti, you can switch off the recording, no problem. Now it is okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So we'll only talk about some problem or what needs to be done, or if you have any queries or anything, right?